Ashley is anxious to try one of our Wrench Roper saddles today. She's got a lovely paint horse who has a bit of friction and pressure damage there from the saddle she's been riding. Can you tickle her belly for me, Ashley? And let's see how high up does it come, and that'll help us determine, do we need tickle it vigorously. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's a nice back, so she's not horribly hampered. But I would say that if you will put this shim, and we'll pretend where we're going to put it in front. Now shove it back farther, because you're going to picture that we want to keep all pressure off that spot. So let's send it back a little farther. Yeah, and maybe forward just a bit. But you can imagine, the idea is that we want to lift pressure off of that area so the saddle will not add any more to that. And this shim will sink down into the open cell conforming foam of our Smart Pad, and I think you'll have an awfully good ride. She does not need a shim in the center, even though she looks a little low in the center right now when she's standing, but her back came up very high, so I think just that relief of that pressure will make a difference. So
okay.
I'll be interested to see how you feel.
Very good, thank you.
All right, Ashley, you were saying?
I was saying that she typically has been really cinchy about tightening, and so I'm curious to see what she thinks about this process today.
And she's a good sized mare. She actually could be well served by our super wide saddle, but Ashley has a hip and back issue and felt that she wanted a narrower twist for the rider. So we're going to do that, but I think this mare is going to be comfortable. So let's watch her face and see. You say she's usually very crabby, when you cinch it?
So I always push down here.
Mm-hmm. Push down there.
And I tighten it up just to where it's safe. And
well, we don't seem unhappy.
She doesn't seem unhappy at all.
No.
So I imagine that with some pressure off of her shoulders, that probably feels a bit more comfortable for her.
Okay, the saddle's tilted over to the right side a little bit, but let's make sure that this front concho here is right at her scapula's back edge. That feels good.
Yeah.
So we've now got this girth is a 28. I think she could do fine with a 20. Oh, I think it's a 26. She could maybe do with one shorter, but this was the one we had at hand, and it's not going to hurt her. But that saddle is tilted, so we'll straighten it up. But I didn't see any crabbiness at all, and that's with the two shims. I mean, one shoulder shim on either side, and they're back right about
here,
right about there. So when you reach in, you can. Let's straighten this up. When you reach in, you should be able to reach all the way back, even while she's standing, to the stirrup bar area. Right? Does that feel like quite a bit more room than she's accustomed to, I'll bet, huh?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, let's see how you go. Okay. You're not unhappy, are you? What is your name, you beautiful thing? Mariah. All right, let's go ride like the wind.
Okay.
Let's always remember, she was just licking and chewing and we missed it on video.
You missed it.
She's a high-withered girl, so we want to make sure we've got plenty of room up under here, so we hold that pad up before we cinch tightly. That's the last thing you do, is yank that up.
With some past saddles, if I've touched here at all when I've been riding her, she quivers.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you?
Yes.
If you had pressure there.
Yes.
We've had people who should know tell us that the withers, they think, are more sensitive than the mouth. Actually, they're very sensitive. So it's just a darn shame if they ever have any pressure impacting them. Right, Mariah. Ooh, that's a nice blowout. Ashley's just gotten started here, test riding the Wrench Roper here at Dave and Jody Ellis's magnificent LS Ranch. Oh, what a place to be. Ooh. Well, their head didn't shoot up, as I'm accustomed to seeing when I watched Ashley ride in her saddle the other day. Mariah's head did more than nod up, jammed upward. So, a lot to expect in the first ride. That there'd be huge changes, but I can see some. We'll be interested in Ashley's comments. Okay, I can see those stirrups are a little long, and that was as short as we had for you here today.
Yes, I
But-
think I'll get some shorter ones in my saddle. This is Mariah and our test ride in the Roper saddle,
Yeah.
and she loves it. Her athleticism was coming out more so, and she just wanted to go. I could feel her moving underneath me
Yeah.
a lot more, and she just wanted to stay in her canter and just mope.
And that's unusual.
Yeah, she's been dropping down to a trot more lately, and I think that spot that we saw evidence of rubbing has probably been bugging her with some pressure there,
Yeah.
and so she just feels definitely more athletic and more comfortable. She was blowing out quite a bit, and
Yes,
Feels
and I
really
noticed
good.
when you, hello, sweetie, when you asked for the canter, her head didn't shoot up the way
right, yeah,
I've seen it. I saw it when you ride your other saddle the other day.
yeah.
So, and I heard you say awesome out there.
Very awesome. Yes, and she was licking and chewing after we cinched her. She was licking and chewing and exhaling as I was just walking her down here online, and I think she definitely votes for it. And I've had a lot of problems with saddles that she's liked that have enough room for her have been too wide for my hips, and I get low back pain and some hip pain, and this saddle feels like it's just keeping me exactly in the right spot. Even with the stirrups being too long, I feel really stable, and I don't feel like there's pressure on my low back.
Wonderful.
Which has been a problem for
We
me.
worked hard on that for you too. Ergonomically, we've taken good care of the rider. When you have that shim in the right place to offer that little bit of extra help in managing that interface between the horse and the saddle. If you're going to make the saddle large enough for the horse to move as nature intended, we've got to pay some attention to that interface. People often say, "Oh, well, if your saddles are so great, why do I have to shim them?" And we just say, this is one of the things we learned in our 13 years at this. If you don't take care of that interface with a bit of management responsively, you just don't get the very best out of the whole system. So why not?
Well, this is a saddle I could definitely spend hours in, and I think she agrees.
Back.
We're back.
You said you ran around the hills a little bit because she was enjoying.
Yeah, she had so much go that we left the arena because we couldn't concentrate. And we were having so much fun, and we went and ran around in the hills a little bit
Well,
just to enjoy ourselves.
Oh, goody. So, and you were also saying you think you have to have one of these saddles, huh?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, oh, that's wonderful. Oh, good. So let's pull the saddle off and see what our sweat pattern looks like, huh? Okay. All right, what do we have here? Okay, so this is all wet. This is wet. I don't see any pressure point. So this will gradually heal.
Okay.
Yeah. Good job. Nice even sweat pattern. It didn't, the saddle didn't move forward or anything
No.
on her. Or you will see quite a lot of improvement when you get your new saddle, I'm sure.
Perfect. I'm excited to get it ordered and start riding in it soon.
Cool. Thank you, Ashley and Mariah.